folks, Darnell Mack here. Hey, I'm going to do some stamping today. I'm working on a new grandmother's flower garden with, I got a huge collection of 1930s fabrics, and they're fun to work with. This one, though, I've never done a 3/4 inch hexagon, so this is going to be the grandmother's flower garden. I've finished my, I'm working on my third row and putting this one together, and I need to cut some more strips, mainly because I want to bag them for future work. So I'm going to show you how I do that with a rotary cutter. I don't want to be using my scissors and cutting all of these little bitty hexagons. If I can use it, I use a rotary cutter for this. So let me show you how I do that. So the first thing I do, because I never remember the width of my stamps, I use a ruler and I go from side to side to figure out how long the strips I want to make. I can either do point to point or I can do from side to side. In this case, I want to do it from side to side because that gives me some straight line cutting, and I'll show you what I mean on that. So I can either use my rubber stamp or my clear stamp. The method is basically the same, and this one is roughly 1 3/4 of an inch from cut line to cut line, and that'll give me the 1/4 inch seam allowance on these stamps included. You may choose to do a little bit more. I've done that as well, so that I've got just a little bit extra if I'm going too quickly stamping, so that gives me a bit extra. So bottom line, 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so let's do some rotary cutting. Let me get rid of my camera and just go to the overhead view. Ooh, that's a nice glow from my lamp up above. So I've just got a 1/2 yard of this pink fabric. It's that bubblegum pink. So I'm going to do the rotary cutting on this. Oh, and I need my longer ruler. So I'm going to cut 1 3/4 inch. You can see it's just a wee bit over. Oh, my camera's going nuts. Let me turn that off. Autofocus off. All right, so I've got my 1 3/4 inches here. And I do my first cut. And this is the width of fabric. And I'm going to do my second cut. All right. So I've got my little strips. Now let's do some stamping. So when you're doing the stamps, you of course don't want to go into the seam allowance. I'm sorry, the salvage. So I'm going to give myself enough space for avoiding that. And I'm doing the point to point. And so there I go. My first. Ooh, let me get the camera just a little bit closer so you can see the details on how this looks when you go to do the imprints. Depending upon how dark you want your lines, you can ink once. You can usually get a second imprint off of that. Just depends on how dark you want it. The lighter fabrics, you want to go as light as you can possibly see it. Again, this ink is permanent and it does not bleed through the fabric. And so you can see my stamp imprints there, and you cannot see anything on the back side, even if you get up close. So see, and there's the markings, and that solid line is the cut line, the dashed line is the stitch line. Okay, so let's cut them up. Again, I don't want to be doing the cutting with my scissors, although I've been known to do that since I do some traveling and I'll cut along the way. But I'm going to use my rotary cutter. Oh, let's get to where you can see me. So I'm just going to match up these two lines right here from this hexie to this hexie. And I've got a straight line cut right there. So let's do that. because again, this is the cut line. So if it's a little bit on or off, it's okay as long as you've got roughly that 1/4 inch seam allowance or so, you'll be good to go. And so I just keep scooching my ruler down and cutting my hexagons out. And this will be my last cut. All right. Now I can choose to stop here and cut these by hand, but I don't do that either. So what I'm going to do is put these, I can either stack or kind of layer them on here. I'm matching this line and this line. Okay, so now I've got about 4 of them right there, and I'm going to rotary cut these. I don't want to get too many because then my lines could get wonky and I don't want to tear up my fabric. So there you go. I've got 4 hexies right there real quick with a rotary cutter, and now I'm good to go. Now I'll just finish cutting the rest of my strips and I'm in business. Folks, I hope that helps in how you stamp and ink strips using a rotary cutter. Have a great day. If you have any questions, go to our website. We're at info@bykate.com, and I'll be happy to answer any more questions or post another video. Have a great day, folks. Happy stitching. Bye.